So hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. This is Abhishek on the other side. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon in order to get the latest notification first. So without much further ado, let's start out this video. So today in this video, we're gonna see the implementation of priority queue. Now before starting this video, I would highly recommend you to watch my previous video on priority queue is where I have talked about its definition, types and application and many more. Now once you have watched that video, then only come back over here and watch this video. So this is a prerequisite for this video. Now before creating a priority queue, we need to include the queue data structure, queue SQL library function. So, let's just include it by writing hashtag include queue. Now this will include our queue SQL library. So let's just first let's first create a maxip. In priority queue, all you need to do is that we need to write priority queue. Then you have to give it a data type, and then we need to write priority pq. Okay, as a variable. Now currently our priority queue is empty. So in order to check whether our priority queue is empty or not, we need to write pq dot empty function. Now this function is gonna check whether our priority queue is empty or not. And if this function returns to me 1, which means that our priority queue is empty. So over here we can see that our priority queue is empty, right? So let me just push some elements into our priority queue. So in order to push some elements, we need to write pq.push, and then let's push 5 into our priority queue. Now if you check whether our priority queue is empty or not, we write pq.empty, and then let's just give a new line to it. Now we'll find that it's printing me 0. Right, now this 0 represents that our priority queue is not empty currently. So now let's push few more elements into our priority queue. So let's push few more elements. Now let's push 6, then let's push 1, and then let's push 4. So we have pushed 4 elements. Now in order to see like how many elements are pushed in our priority queue, we have the size function. So if you write pq.size, okay, and let me just comment this out. Now we'll find that we have got 4, right? Which means that we have pushed 4 elements into our priority queue. Now over here we have taken a maxif, right? Now in maxif what happens? The parent element is greater than its child elements, right? So in order to see like, so if you just write pq.top, that means in order to get the topmost element in a priority queue, then we'll find that we'll get 6. Now because 6 is bigger as compared to all the other elements in this priority queue, right? So let me just top, right? So let me just save and run again. Then you will find that it's returning me 6, right? Because 6 is greater than all the other elements, right? Now let's see how we can remove the element in a priority queue. So in order to remove our pop element in a priority queue, we need to write pq.pop function. Now this would remove me element 6 because 6 is the element which is at the top of the priority queue, right? So if you just print cout right now, cout pq.top, now you will find that our top is changed to element 5. So at first we have 6, then we are having 5, right? This is what our top is printing. So now let's see how we can print the priority elements in a priority queue. So in order to print elements in a priority queue, we would be requiring a while loop. Now in this while loop, the condition will be not of pq.empty, right? That is, if our priority key is not empty, then only it will go inside this while loop. Now inside this while loop, we'll be printing pq.top. Let me just give a new line to it, and let me just pop the element and save it, and let me just run this code. Now we'll find that we have got 6, 5, 4 and 1 because we have pushed 5, 6, 1 and 4, right? And hence it has and it has printed me in descending order, right? Because over here we can see that at first 6 is greater than all the other elements, right? So once we pop 6, then 5 becomes a greater element. Now once we pop 5, 4 becomes a greater element. Now once we pop 4, then 1 becomes a greater element, right? And hence in this format it is printed. Now let's see how we can create a min heap. Now in order to create a min heap, we would be requiring again priority queue, the data type. Then we'll be having a vector. Now in this vector we're going to have a data type again, and then we're going to write greater of int, then min heap. Now this is how we create a min heap. So let me just put some elements into our min heap. Let's push 5. Let's push 6. Let's push 1. Okay, so after pushing the element, let me just write min.top. Now in min heap, what exactly happens? Now the parent element is smaller than its children, right? That's what exactly happens in min heap. So if you just print the min.top, then it's gonna print me 1, which means that 1 is because over here we can see that 1 is the minimum element, right? 1 is smaller than as compared to all the other elements over here, and hence we have written 1. So this is how a min heap works. So now let's see how we can make pair as input. Okay, so in order to take pair as input, we just need to change this to pair. Now in a pair we'll be having two fields, right? One is the first, and another one is the second. Now this first represents your priority, while the second represents the element, right? So let me just write the priority first, then the element, then we have the priority and the element, the priority and the element, finally we have the priority and the element, right? So if you just print pq.top, now what this will do, this will actually arrange the elements according to the priority, right, in max heap. So if you just print dot first and just second, right? So this is what it is. Now let me just comment this out, and let me just run this again. So now I'll find that 9 and 3 is printed, right? Because 9's priority is higher as compared to all the other priority, right? And hence we have got 9 and 3. Now if you want to create a min heap using pairs, all you need to do is to change this int to pair, right? And thus we will get the min heap. But a point to be noted over here is that while creating a pair, right, the first element should always be the priority, okay, and the second element can be anything. So I hope that you like this video. If you like this video, do give a thumbs up to the video, share it to your friends, and subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon in order to get the latest notification first. So if you haven't seen my other videos about data structure, you can watch it through here, and I'll see you in my next video.